Hey, my name is your parents and today we'll be taking a look at another model kit. Now this time this is not a high grade but it is a real grade, which means a lot of plastic separation and less stickers needed, only for the eyes and some other parts I guess, like the joints. So here we have the real grade Force Impulse Gundam. Now you might be typing in the comments really bad and really fast na, hey, your parents, aren't real grades bad? Well, no, you're not, normie. Real grades are actually good. On my understanding, everything released after the real grade Unicorn Gundam is actually good. So this Force Impulse Gundam is actually released after the Unicorn Gundam, meaning this to say it's good. No, there is some inner frame, but there's no loose parts, there's no loose skirts, nothing is loose, everything feels perfect. It's basically a master grade in a 1/44 scale, or as you all know, a high grade scale. Now, the Force Impulse Gundam appears in the second season of Gundam Seed, known as Gundam Seed Destiny, which I watch. So Gundam Seed Destiny is a sequel to Gundam Seed, but this time it focuses more on the character Shin Asuka. Shin Asuka is from the Zaft Forces. So do not confuse Gundam Seed with the Universal Century Gundam or the ones connected with the original Gundam, because this is another universe, an alternate universe, cosmic era to be exact. Now I'm saying this because this figure has some similarities with the RX-78-2, and let's just place this here. And as you can see, let's start with the head, the upper torso. Now this is like the flight mode. It is deployed like this in the show, but without the colors. Similar shield. It does have a star, a yellow star, just like the RX. And of course, it does have the same color scheme like every stereotypical Gundam color scheme. Blue upper torso, red waist, yellow front ducts, and a white head with a white V-fin and a red center thingy in the V-fin. So yeah, this is how it is deployed. It's kind of like it's flying mode, but we can obviously see that it's the upper torso of a mecha, not a Gundam, a mecha. Now the stickers here are the eyes. The eyes and the cam, the cams in the front and back. Now you kind of see it up on the back camera. Well, I'm not the greatest sticker applier, okay? So let's just calm ourselves, and my fathers, please forgive me, for I have used the sticker sheet. Well, I'm not the greatest painter as well. I'm just beginning in the hobby. Well, I do have a lot of Gundams. I haven't experienced building too much. So anyway, we have here the Core Fighter, also known as the Core Splendor in Gundam Seed Destiny. Now this is where the pilot goes in, and it is deployed like this. Now, as for the Core Fighter itself, it does have missiles which you can move, but it's more for the transformation more than anything. And of course, you can open the cockpit. Really small detail, but they didn't need to do that. I mean, they could have just kept it closed, but they still did it. And Bandai, I almost love you. And of course, we do get the legs. Now this is the flight mode for the legs. It's also deployed like this, and I placed some decals on the legs. I kind of screwed up, but forgive me, I'm not the best sticker / decal applier. And of course, we get the Force Impulse. I forgot what this was called, but this is the Force Impulse gear or equipment. Now, every time the Impulse Gundam has a different gear, let's just move this out of the way. Every time he has a different gear, for example, the Sword Impulse, or the one with the big gun, I forgot what it was called, big guns, it has a different accessory. Now, it should go like that, forgive me. Now, yeah, so this is the Impulse accessories, the Force Impulse accessories, to be exact. Now, yeah, this is basically the booster, and the booster, and this is the ship itself. This won't be anywhere in the robot. We'll get to that here. And of course, since this is a smaller master gate, we do always get a minifigure. Now this is a small figure of Shin Asuka. Now it's not painted and I don't have time to paint, but leave it like that. Now let's get to the transformation of this guy. Now hold on a second. I forgot to mention, it does come with a stand. Now the stand is for a real grade stand, but I don't have a real grade stand and I'm kind of broke, so you're welcome. So it just plugs in like so. Just plug this in his back. Let's just plug this in. So that just plugs in the back part of the crotch like so. And then if you get a high grade stand, this will work. But when you're posing it in air poses in robot mode, this won't work. Okay? So yeah, you can plug that in there. Plug that in there, and he's now flying. Same thing with the Force Impulse armor, or the Impulse armor. Force Impulse armor. I mean, damn, these names are confusing. Well, yeah, you can plug it in the same way, and yeah, there we go. You have that flying, and you can do it with all of these basically. Now, this guy, you can also do it. He has a stand for this, but I won't be showing that off. Of course, Core Fighter, you can also do that as well. There you go. Now let's head to the transformation. Now first, you have to get the Core Fighter. Now the Core Fighter, you have to fold the nose down like so, and remove the rockets. It's a part of the transformation. It's accurate to the show, so don't go type. Now, you normies don't go typing that this is some sort of parts forming. It is Gundam ever since Wing Gundam are parts forming. Now, yeah, you fold it in like this, sort of like how the real grade RX would work. Now you just align it with these holes. See, there's holes there and holes here, and just plug that in. So then you get the upper torso, and you just plug that in like so. Now there we go, and unleash the arms. Turn the arm in that rotation there, and then fold down the arms like so, very slowly. Now take note, you might notice, you Gundam builders there might notice that the VPN is quite small. That's because I screwed up on this. Now forgive me, my Gundam building godfathers, for I have also screwed up the VFin on this guy. Now let's just plug that in back. Now you make sure it clicks, or at least stays on there like so. Frictions, I guess. And fold down that, and then fold up the legs. And as you can see, he is kind of bended. Now remove that ass thing. There we go. And do the same thing for the other one as well. And we're almost done. Wait, this is not yet the impulse. This is not yet the Force Impulse. Now, as I was saying, now this, you have to remove that jet, and then fold that in. Now, if you want to plug it in, just pull that and plug that in like so. Just show that, plug that in there. So yeah, that's how you do it. Don't force it if you don't know. Only see the instructions. Now don't be some sort of all-knowing guy who doesn't read the instructions. You might break the real grade, like what I did with the VFin. Now, let's just plug this in to his back, and then let's just close this two thrusters on the other side as well, and fold them down. Fold up the upper thrusters ever so slightly. Make sure that's all folded up. yeah, so let's just make sure that this stands up. Just make sure that stands up, I said. Come on, stand up, stand up. Well, it's kind of a pain to post this guy standing up. It's really a pain. So yeah, really a pain, in my opinion. But once you do it, let's just get a stand. So you get a stand. You can't use this adapter because I don't have the real grade stand. So you just get this universal crotch thing and just plug that in. But camera won't see it, so let's plug it down lower. So yeah, there it is. There it is, the Force Impulse Gundam. Now this might look similar to the Strike Gundam and the RX-78-2. Almost forgot. Get the shield. Pull the lower parts. Let's just pull that down. And then pull the upper part forward. Pull the upper part. It's kind of hard, don't force it too much, you might break it. It's just it's just there. It's just sticking there via friction. So you might break it. You might do stuff with it, so be careful. Now you just pull this. Now you just pull this up. I'm sorry if the camera is not seeing this strip. There we go. Just pull this up. Make sure that confirms that it's all the way there. And then pull this two things here on the sides. Now this is only applicable if it's the Force Impulse. But if you're using like the sword, they don't unfold it like this. So yeah, there we go. Now this is the Force Impulse Gundam. Let me just show you that. So yeah, this is the Force Impulse Gundam. Now this thing looks phenomenal. I've watched Gundam Seed and I like the designs of Gundam Seed. It's just the Universal Century designs, but more streamlined. Now, fun fact, the Aili Strike Gundam, if I pronounced that correctly, forgive me if I butchered the name, actually is one of the most common Gundam depictions in promotionals and in media in general. You would always see this, the Aili Strike, or the Granddaddy. Now let's just get Granddaddy here. And they're actually in similar scale, because this is also a 144, but this one has a more part separation. You don't need to paint it too much. There's no need for that. You can just build it, add a few stickers for the eyes. Of course, I understand that the eyes can't be part separated. Well, it is now, because they have the entry grade RX, which you don't need to paint in any form, shape, or way. Heck, even no stickers. Well, that's for another time. Now, let's get back to the Force Impulse. Now, the Force Impulse looks like the RX 78-2. Now, as I said, the same Gundam pattern, the same Gundam color scheme. Of course, the shield does look like the Gundam, and even has that. You can look closely. Even has that yellow V. The yellow V that the RX 78-2 also had. Now this looks like that one Gundam. As I was saying, this thing looks like that one Gundam from Gundam Stardust Memory, which also had the yellow V in the chest rather than having it in the crotch. Now, since this looks like the Gundam, the original Gundam over here. It's not from, let me rephrase again, this is not from the Universal Century. When you say Universal Century, it's the Gundam that came from or is connected or canon to the 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. So, if you're trying to look for a Gundam from the original Gundam series or from the Universal Century timeline in general, you have to look for the box that says Universal Century. The high grade box that says Universal Century on it. So yeah, that's one thing to be safe. Now this thing Now, I don't blame you if you thought that this was from like the Mobile Suit Gundam from 1979, or it's from the Universal Century in general, because it's really Gundam-y. It looks Universal Century-ish. Not until you read that decal, it says Zap, and it says their Force Impulse, and that logo there in the right in his left arm is actually the logo of Fate. Fate members in Gundam Seed Destiny are basically free-willed. Basically, they can do whatever they want, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't remember. I just finished this recently. Forgive me once more. It has more decals on the back there, on the jet, or in the Force Impulse backpack. Now, for his accessories, of course, he does come with this beam rifle. Now, this beam rifle also has a moving grip and a moving sight. Now, there's some part separation. As you can see, that color red there, that's part separated, and the white scope there is part separated, and I like it. Sure. Now, he does come. Now, if he doesn't have his Force Impulse backpack, the Force Impulse backpack. Okay, let me just remove this for the ease, for the comfort of that. Now, if you open this and take out this thing from your side skirts, both side skirts have this. Just place this back, or maybe not yet. And as you can see, get this piece and you just unfold it like so. Now there you go. Now, like the Strike Gundam, he also has a pair of knives. One pair of knives. This is very thin, and as you can see, it's very small. I mean, they didn't have to add it because it already has the Impulse armor. Not armor, but the Impulse backpack. So, there's no need for this. They don't use it too much, not unless they don't have the armor in the back, or the whatever gear they have in the back. They only use this if they have no gear, basically. These knives were used in the first episode of Gundam Seed in the Strike Gundam, when it doesn't have the Eily Strike armor or backpack. Sorry, I keep on saying armor, but I know it's a backpack. Let's just place that back. Of course, you can always grab those knives with a pair of grabby hands. Now, yeah, grabby hands. Now, these grabby hands are opposite. They have the, you see, they have the peg. The weapons don't have the pegs. The hands have the pegs. Now let's use this in some way. Let's just remove this. Now, let's remove this arm, shield for a while, and replace the arm with a grabby hand. And then you can take the beam sabers here. Let's just remove that. And then let's just remove this. Let's just remove this, and then let's just plug this in here. As you can see, there's a peg hole there and a peg in the arm, so that's how that plugs in. I'm not sure if all the real gates have this, but it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to plug in the beam saber. But once you, oh no, it's really hard. Okay, it's a bit hard for me. Now, let's just plug that in. Plug the arm back in, and then it still doesn't want to plug in. It's kind of, my only issue with this is like it's very small. Some parts are small. In the runner, you might screw them up like the V-fin, as I said. Now let's just plug in the sword, the beam effect part, and plug in the arm back. And let's just open the shield once more. And now he's holding a beam saber that looks very cool. Gundam-y, on my opinion. You can have a cool Gundam series without a beam saber. oops, Iron-Blooded Orphans exist. Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans exist, and they don't have beam sabers. Sorry. Now, Iron-Blooded Orphans aside, this thing looks phenomenal. It looks like a stereotypical Gundam from Gundam Seed, or in Gundam in general. It looks nice, it looks Gundam-y. Sorry for the term. Oh, and let's replace his grabby hand again. But let's be honest, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans is a cool series. Now, you also get a grab with no peg. Now this one, so he can do like so. Let's just open this up. Let's just open up this pegless grabby hand. It's kind of small, really hard. And as you can see, shield does have a hinge joint. I just place that there. Like, just make sure in there. Then plug this in. Actually, just plug it in the arm first. I'll just plug this in first, and then peg that in to the shield, the same way how it worked before. I just plug that in, and then you just plug it in the arm once more. And these remove easily. Oh no. Oh yeah, that's not an issue, but it's more of like I rushed too much, so it didn't stay put all the way. So yeah, there you go. We have him holding his shield in the handle while plugged into his arm. Actually, I prefer this, but I'd like the one in the opening. That one pose in the opening he makes, where one of his legs is up and he's aiming the rifle in nowhere. It's really cool. Now, as I said, the V-fin is short. I kind of screwed up on that, and that's one issue with this series. Actually, all of real grades in general, they have this small V-fin. Be very careful when you're trying to cut them, or at least prioritize on cutting them first, because they're the hardest one to do, on my opinion. If you're beginning with the real grade line, now we did a bit of panel lining, and doesn't look too bad. Now, for the possibility of this guy, let's see that. So the top wings on the Force Impulse have this hinge joint, and that main hinge joint is in this ball joint, so it can rotate up all the way and down all the way until there. And same thing here, just have a ball joint on the bottom wing section. Now, two of these thrusters on the back do have hinge joints. There and there. That looks nice. These thrusters look nice, in my opinion. Now, side skirts are on a ball joint. This is in a ball joint. Does have a bit of has a bit of a crunch there. Not too special. A tight waist swivel. And now let's just remove this hand, remove the shield, and remove this arm for the convenience of that. Let's just move that in all, and then let's replace this back really quick. Just replace this back really fast. And so there's of course a swivel on the shield, swivel on the arm, tight swivel on the hand itself, a swivel on the arm again, and then this can go out, up, and same thing for the other side. And of course that panel can go up. And yeah, ball joints on the side skirt, as I said before. There are ball joints on the front skirts. I don't think they're as loose as possible, but if you mess around with this, they might fall off. And also ball joint on the back, hinge joint, double hinge joint there, hinge joint on the leg itself. The leg hinge joints actually just plug in, like, very simple. It's just two pieces. It's very easy and it doesn't affect anything. Now, as you can see, if you move this hinge joint here, let's just close the dial up. The leg moves with it. That front thing moves with it as well. So that's very cool. Now, hinge joint on this back thruster can move down that far. Doesn't have a toe, and a bit of a hinge joint on that this thing. I forgot what this was called, but yeah, anyway, let's just place back the shield once more. Now this figure is amazing. Everything after the Unicorn Gundam, which is also a masterpiece in my opinion. I might get it someday, because the high grade, well, it didn't age well, in my opinion. Now, do get this figure if you are a fan of Gundam Seed Destiny, and I am a fan of Gundam Seed Destiny. But just take note, this is not from the Universal Century. And if you are a beginner, don't start with the real grade. At least start with the RX here, the high grade. The Revive or the original one, but the Revive is better. Has more possibility to it. This one's not Revive. I brought this way back then when I was not knowledgeable about Gun Plus, so forgive me for that. But still, this guy has this the Force Impulse has great part separation. It's great, it feels great. The colors are decent out of the box. The detail is nice. The decals are fine. Some parts is screwed up. More my fault. Everything looks perfect. Everything feels nice. This one is truly a smaller scale master grade. Very sure of that. Everything after the Unicorn Gundam. But sadly, as much as I want a real grade Freedom Strike, it came out before the Unicorn Gundam. So what I'm trying to say is, it's fucking trash. It's freaking trash. Now, get this figure if you are a fan of Gundam Seed, and if you are an experienced builder, at least with the high grade ones. Now, don't get this figure if you are a beginner, and if you're not that much of a fan of Gundam Seed. But this thing actually feels nice, okay? So, yeah, so that's it for this review. I'm very sorry for the delays. Life gets in the way, school gets in the way, everything gets in the way. So, yeah, sorry for the delay of this review and the review of my Daimos figure. So please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. If you like this video. And once again, this is not for children. So I'm betting if you bought this for your child, they might start choking on it. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Your Parents. Once again, that's all for now. And goodbye.